welcome to a brand new Celluloid Scotch. This is part of our weekly series for the month. I know we said we were doing horror movies, but I think this is a horror movie, or it's on the cusp of, like, if Psycho is a horror movie, I think this is a horror movie.
Absolutely.
Definitely psychological thriller, if nothing else. Wanted to touch on something that just broke today or last night. Apparently, Warner Brothers, HBO Max still doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, so now they're releasing Dune on HBO Max on Thursday night, preview night, where the movie predominantly would make most of its money.
What?
Yeah, they pushed it to Thursday night at 6 p.m. It goes live on HBO Max, literally before any preview night showings are happening.
That's weird.
It's a poor choice, and again, I don't know what the fuck this company is doing at this point. Like, Thursday night was your night to make all your money at the theater, in my opinion, before it hit HBO Max, and now they're doing this, which basically is undercutting itself.
Weird.
So I don't know for them if it's more important that they get subscribers or make money in the theater. All I know is, like, Denis Villeneuve's just got to be sitting there like, God, like, you keep fucking with my movie.
Yeah, he can't be too. All I can think is, like, it's kind of a...
Or they gave him the agreement already. You're getting your sequel. Just keep your mouth shut during this.
That could be. It definitely, if he hasn't said anything about it, that's
because that was his big worry, is that he was going to get handicapped and he wasn't going to be able to finish it.
To me, it feels like Warner Brothers is trying to go just jumping all in on streaming.
And, like, I watched some of the fandom stuff today with the trailers. I don't know what I think. Like, The Flash is so tonally different from Black Adam. Like, I get they're making their individual movies. Like, the Black Adam teaser literally showed nothing. And then The Flash, you know, you got Michael Keaton talking, and then you saw the bat suit, like the pointy ears. I was like, okay, like, we're hitting the nostalgia bug there. And it ends with him taking a tarp off something. I'm sure it's the 89 Batmobile.
Oh, yeah, dude. I got such chills during that. I was so excited.
The Batman trailer, what did you think? Like...
I mean, I'm still all in, but this one was the best compiled piece of little treats we can get for what the movie's going to be, and I am super excited about it now.
So the actor playing the Riddler, I really like.
Yeah, everybody seems to like him. I'm not too familiar with him that much.
He was in Looper.
I haven't seen it, so.
Oh, okay. Also, like, there was a movie called Ruby Sparks that I really loved, like, way back when. It's a silly kind of rom-com, but he was pretty good in it as kind of the asshole love interest.
All right. We'll have to check some of that out, but yeah, I'm not familiar with him at all, so.
I went and ordered Peacock last night so that I can rewatch Halloween Kills. And then I saw they have the whole Friday the 13th catalog on there for streaming. So I got
Peacock?
Yes.
All right.
Hello, Robert, the comic book G-Spot.
Robert, what's up, G-Spot?
So I did the $4.99 version, which gets you ads, but honestly, I just don't care.
I'm gonna have to do that. I hate ads, so
yeah, it's $10 for no ads, $4.99.
I'll have to do that, ads. Because I do care. That just ads drive me nuts. So
yeah, I was kind of
originally when I had Hulu, way back when they first started doing the if you pay so much, then you won't get ads.
Yes,
but then they still had like a 30-second ad in front of some stuff.
So from what I saw, like, before and after the movies, you'll get ads with the ad free, but you won't have the interruption during it.
Sure, but you can't skip the before and after. So
if
it stops buffering in the middle of it and you have to, like, reload it, you have to go through that again.
Probably.
And this was back when connections weren't really that great. So I was like, yeah, I'm done, because if I'm paying for no commercials and I still gotta I just got tired of it.
I'm excited to see what this total Matt Reeves movie is going to be, because he seemed to come in with an idea, going to be very street level. It looks like it has some year one elements in it. And Matt Reeves is very passionate about the projects he does. Sometimes I like him, sometimes I don't. His Apes movie in particular, I didn't love the first one. But the second
I need to read this.
Oh God, you do, yes. So today we are here to talk about the 1995 thriller Se7en by David Fincher, starring Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, and now we know that he's a very creepy person, Kevin Spacey, and Ermey as the police commissioner. Which
I had forgotten he was in that until I revisited it. So,
Robert, my days off actually switched. I have Fridays and Saturdays off. I'm kind of booked up for October, but if we want to discuss November, we can try and make it happen, buddy.
Dan is a busy man, especially today.
Well, this month, because we decided to do the weekly. Next week we have our weekly show, and then we're doing the Dune movie discussion. So that's going to be exciting, because I mean, this literally has been 2 years of waiting for this fucking movie to come out.
Dude, we are blessed to have Gore Vidal in the chat today.
Oh, always. Oh shit, Heat was that 95 too?
Was it? Yeah, well, I thought maybe it was 94. Maybe it was 95.
So I've only watched that movie once. Heat? It was on TV, yeah. Like, for some reason,
I've seen it like probably at least 20 times.
It was a movie I didn't really seek out.
Okay.
Kind of weirdly. But yeah, when I looked at this was 95, I was trying to remember where I was like living at the time when this came out. Did I catch it in the movies? Did I catch it on cable, or did I catch it on DVD? And I'm pretty actually I caught it on VHS. I think I had a DVD. No, DVDs didn't come till like closer to like 98.
Yeah, I didn't see Heat until VHS. I don't think I was old enough to see it in the theaters, but
so one of the things I will commend about this, and I don't think I was very familiar with Fincher's work before this. I think this was the first one that really put him on my radar.
Did he do much before this?
Music videos.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
The city is as much a character as anybody else in this movie. And the way that he is able to set the tone with just the mood of the city, that's where I feel like it's a character, because I mean, it's raining constantly. Everybody talks about how they hate the city. Why did you move here? Brad Pitt comes in kind of like an asshole.
Yeah.
Oh, we speaking Nolan here. Had Heat in mind with The Dark Knight. Huh.
Yeah, that soundtrack is still pretty good. Had a lot of different music on it.
Huh. Hello, Actual Dracula.
Actual Dracula, what is up, brother?
Thank you for stopping in.
I'm not gonna lie, Dan. When I was revisiting this, I got Gotham City feelings from the city. Did.
Yeah, like it literally. It's its own character.
Right.
And it's completely fascinating also, because at one point in this movie I was like, is Brad Pitt trying to be Johnny Utah from Point Break, where he just comes, like, the only thing missing was Gary Busey like making his like weird little comments.
Oh man, if Gary Busey had been in this movie, good lord.
Morgan Freeman is kind of the is it Murtaugh, kind of like he's ready for retirement, he's done, but this case drags him back in. And the way they
I don't think they actually sorry. I should have wrote in the chat instead of talking over you. But yeah, Dracula, I don't think they actually ever named the city, did they?
They say it that they came from upstate. And that's what made me start guessing it was New York.
Gotcha.
But just worse than any New York ever.
Yeah. Gothamized New York.
I kind of really like, it's not so much a mystery. Because yeah, they're on a manhunt, but they're kind of not. It's
hey,
weird.
Panda.
Hey, what's up? It's kind of weird the way this movie starts, but again, it keeps setting the tone and the mood as it goes on. And I started going through like Fincher's catalog after this, and there's one movie that doesn't fit more than any, and that's The Social Network.
Wait, he did that? Okay.
Yeah, it surprised me because I was like, oh shit, Fincher directed that. Morgan Freeman, I thought was fantastic in this.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just the way he's going to sleep with the metronome, it had this case just drags him back in. There's so much to like Gwyneth Paltrow, even that scene with her and Freeman at the diner when she's telling him that she's pregnant.
Yeah.
And she's just like, I hate this city. I don't want to raise the kids here. Social Network is a great movie. It's just when you look at the tone of
I just didn't think that was Fincher. That's weird.
I didn't either. I thought for sure it was the guy who did what was that HBO show that was the Newsroom? I can't remember the name of it.
Gosh dang it. It'll come to me later.
Yeah. Se7en is a great. So last week we were going back and forth because I was like, do you want to do Se7en or Zodiac? Zodiac's a much longer movie.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours and was it 2.5, 2:45 or something?
Something like that. Morgan Freeman's had me since the Electric Company. Yeah, I remember that as a kid.
I gotta say, like, this one, top 5 movie endings ever for me. I'm not gonna say it's in my top 5 favorite movies personally, but I mean the ending, Jesus, I still get chills. So, and I already know what happens. It's just so weird. So it's so well done. But we'll get to the ending later.
Chaos, actually, you just nailed it. What was before this movie, Alien 3, which was a fucking disaster, and he walked away from it and wanted his name removed because there was so much studio intervention. There was one of the collected editions that had what they called the assembly cut, which was more in line with what Fincher had in mind. And it's a much better movie. Like, how it didn't come out that way is confusing, but that's studio politics, I guess, especially as I'm learning, like, Warner Brothers and Fox and all those, like, just constantly just interfering left and right. And then, like, if you go back and watch John Schnepp's documentary, The Death of Superman Lives, with all the nonsense that went with that. Like, the assembly cut was weird as fuck, but it was a better cut.
There's a lot of armchair directors that are in the higher ups at movie companies.
And just know, if John Peters is producing, you put a giant fucking spider in that movie, it's getting made. One way or another, it's getting made. Whether it goes in Wild Wild West, it's getting made.
God. Oh, Lord.
So, we were talking before we started. I said, like, this is early in Brad Pitt's career. I think he'd done Interview with the Vampire. Before
I still haven't seen that.
California.
That was kind of weird.
The stoner in True Romance.
He was in True Romance?
Yes, he was the stoner smoking out of the honey bear bong.
Okay.
He's in it for, like, not very long.
Yeah.
So he's still kind of getting his acting chops, and I feel at moments in this he really overacts, and then he does that, like, after every sentence in this, going, yeah. Which
I think I agree. I definitely agree. But I also think it was kind of sort of that character's emotional. I think he was kind of overplaying the emotions a little bit to kind of play off of Morgan and John Doe, who's just all methodical and whatnot. So
Se7en could have been an interesting Batman film. I don't think you could have pulled that ending off unless it was Gordon.
Ooh. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know what I mean. Maybe it was all the Batman stuff this weekend, but this time revisiting it, like I just got all these Gotham City Batman. Good. I just got all these vibes from that. So, but enough of that.
I haven't gone back and watched California in probably about 15 years. I might need to go back and watch that again. It's been a long time.
Wasn't David Duchovny in that one?
I believe so. Juliette Lewis was in it, I believe.
It's kind of a weird one. And I think it was California spelled with a K, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Yeah, so you screwed that up there, G-Man.
I also misremembered the ending because for some reason in my head I didn't remember him pulling the trigger.
Oh, really?
On John Doe. I thought it ended more ambivalent.
Huh.
But then I watched it, I was like, nope, he fucking shot him in the head.
Definitely a few times got rid of some bullets there.
I started kind of laughing at the part with the person who was I believe it's Lust. Hello, John.
Wait. I might be getting that mixed up with Pride. Oh, Lust. Yeah, Lust. Okay.
The opening credits on this were awesome. The way they did the cuts and showing him kind of his notebook and everything. I did not talk about that, and thank you for bringing that up because sometimes I kind of forget stuff like that.
Oh, by the way, I love your fucking shirt. That is fucking fantastic.
Thanks.
Oh, that's awesome.
On my Halloween repping.
Dude, Donald Pleasance, man. Jeez.
Oh, that was a weird discussion last night. Best Loomis, Pleasance, or Malcolm McDowell.
I caught a little bit of that. I don't dislike either of them. I have a personal preference to go with Donald Pleasance just because
they kind of brought their own thing with each.
Yeah, but Malcolm McDowell wasn't awful or bad or
the writing was, but it wasn't his
If he had done it and Donald Pleasance never had, I mean, I probably would love his version, But.
It could be. The part I started laughing with the guy with, he told me to fuck her and I fucked her. Put a gun in my mouth. Like, I don't know why. I just started laughing because that guy just is 0 to 100 on
that actor is he's very unique.
The scariest part for me also was the drug dealer junkie who, like, his desiccated body and then he pops up and he's still alive, and the way all the SWAT guys are like freaked out and like ready to pull the trigger.
There's just so much like realism, especially I like when he's got all the freaking scent trees hanging up, and then also that SWAT officer that's like, you got what you deserved or whatever, and then it's like he's not dead.
Yeah. The movie actually does a heightening of tension throughout it, but then it has those weird breaks like the dinner at Brad Pitt's apartment with the subway and how like they just start goofing on him.
Yeah, there's got to be like at least 2 moments of levity in this film. Otherwise, it probably wouldn't have been as enjoyable, I don't think. So,
and the way Kevin Spacey, like his mannerisms in it when he turns himself in. And then I start going, more memorable Kevin Spacey. This or Kaiser Sose?
For me, it's this, but I know a lot of people will probably disagree with that, and that's cool.
I like when he's there going, oh no, they're going to remember this. They're going to remember you.
When he turns to, I'm forgetting Brad Pitt's name right now in that movie. Mills. And says, become vengeance, become wrath or whatever. I'm just like, oh my God.
I went to your apartment and played house. I tried to be the husband. And then it's like, she begged for her life. She begged for her unborn child. And then Morgan Freeman smacks the shit out of him, and he's like, oh, he didn't know.
And the dynamics of Pitt's youth versus Morgan Freeman about to retire, like, I've been thinking about that a lot as far as, like, when I was in my 20s, I had a lot more firecracker and, you know, stuff in me. And, like, if I was in that situation at that age, like, I know now at my age, I probably wouldn't pull the trigger, but in my 20s, I probably would have unloaded that clip on him too. I probably would have. There's a lot of dualities, and like I mean, there's so much similarities between Morgan Freeman's character and John Doe they represent
the methodical nature of both of them,
right? Well, and their intelligence and the way that they see that, like, most of the world is kind of apathetic and they don't like that, and they think there's a better way. But they both pick different routes, of course, to funnel that energy, like Freeman for good, and then John Doe thinks attrition is going to get people to, you know, change, which violence and stuff like I never think actually works, but whatever.
So the thing I kept thinking about, also, John, great point, and I think we're underselling what the score does for this movie, but that scene was fantastic.
I kind of agree too, but like, it's funny, the younger people usually say it like that was kind of slow and boring in the middle of the movie. So,
hello,
hey, what's up, Unruly?
One of the things after the movie I was thinking was the whole point of it for John Doe to be remembered? Because he keeps going on about, my legacy will be remembered, you will be remembered. They'll be talking about you after this. They'll be talking about me. Or was he trying to, like, prove a point?
I think he was trying to prove a point.
Because,
I mean, he already said it doesn't matter who he is or who he was. So it's not like he's, I mean, yeah, he'll be known as John Doe, but I don't think they'd ever find out who he really was. And young people are lame. That's true, John. Young people do suck. But like, yeah, I think he was trying to amp up the attention and amp up the atmosphere and kind of build everything up.
Another one of those great scenes was when Brad Pitt, after like getting the gun held up to his head and being let go, when he goes up, he's like, I'm breaking into that room. I'm breaking in. He goes, if you go in there without a warrant, he's going to go free. And he's like, I'm doing it. We got probable cause. He's like, do not do it. Like, that interaction, because it was him going like, you will fuck up everything. I know you're pissed, but knock it the fuck off.
Right. Yeah, just so emotional. And the music during that scene too, like everything builds the tension in that.
And you can kind of tell that he was stalking Mills for a while. Like, he knew exactly how he could trigger him.
Well, he was that reporter.
Yeah.
Too, which was crazy. Like, I remember the first time I saw it, I didn't catch it because I was a little younger, but like, you know, then I rewatched it and I noticed it and I'm like, holy crap. And then the more I think about it, it's just that was creepy as hell, but like an awesome plot point there.
The night before I watched Zodiac, because I bought both of them. I managed to get both Blu-rays for $14 combined.
Nice.
Zodiac, I think, is a more moody movie, but it's Fincher, I think, 10 years after doing this, possibly longer.
Kind of finer tuned a little bit.
Yeah. It's a way longer movie, though.
Yeah.
And
I like those long movies. People, off topic, sort of, but like, people always say, oh, it's a longer movie, but like, that usually makes me more interested, oddly. Like, I'm freaking Rocket when Thor's talking about, you know, if you take that weapon, you drive you further into madness and you won't survive. Is it weird that I want to do it more now? Like, that's what I am right there. But
I'd say Zodiac had the better performances.
Oh, I imagine, yeah, that cast.
I mean, Robert Downey Jr., Gyllenhaal playing like a somewhat nutty person, the creepiness of who it might be. Has this person like managed to find him? Both movies are great. They set the mood, and I messaged Carlito. I was like, you know what? The one thing about Fincher, he knows how to set the mood in a movie right at the beginning.
Yeah. Well, and it all started at 7 right at the beginning too.
Very much so. I mean, good God, there's so much to like about Fincher's movies, which, now that I think about it, maybe a retrospective is in order. I know we talked about that with John and Bearded. We also talked about doing modern Westerns also, so let's see where we go with that.
I think maybe tonight, possibly after this, I might revisit Zodiac, so I'm kind of in that Fincher mood.
Very much so, and I kind of now want to own the Social Network, because I remember I started hating oh God, what's the actor's name who was in Social Network?
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yes, Jesse Eisenberg. I hated him more than as Lex Luthor in that, but basically he was playing Mark Zuckerberg in Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
John, I invited you and Bearded. Neither of you
Were
got
you supposed
back
to
me.
do that?
I invited him and Bearded, but neither of them got back to me, so I just...
Well, we can always do like a special. I mean, shoot, I don't care.
Yeah, like, I mean,
it's up to you.
Oh, no, I'm always open to whatever. It's their schedules, too, because they've got a lot going on, as always.
Well, John always has time to promote himself, though.
Listen, he's making a lot of TikToks now.
You know what? I got to say, I hate that platform. I hate that app. However, John's TikToks are by far the most fun and awesome things I've ever seen come out of that platform.
But I got to say, his one video about the, drinking coffee and then seeing like
that was perfect.
The Superman.
That's kind of how I was too.
And then like all of a sudden, like I remember waking up that morning going, Batman doesn't do oral. I was like, wait, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
like,
that's not true. That's fake. Fake news. I think the main reason I hate TikTok is because I won't name his name, but we had a young employee at our place of employment a while back, and all he did was sit around on his phone and watch TikTok, and he didn't want to work. So it ticked me the heck off. Pun intended.
Hey, John, give me a minute. I will send you that.
Johnny Boy might be joining us. You want to talk about Zodiac? That'd be cool to have Dracula talk Zodiac.
Yeah, definitely. That is a movie, like, the more I think about it, the more I like it. And it's weird because I would have said 7 was my favorite, and then I rewatched Zodiac the other night, and I was like, okay, this movie's...
And that's part of the reason why I want to rewatch Zodiac, is to see what, because I know it's going to be one of those two that are probably going to end up being my favorite. So,
and it's weird because like even we got Johnny Boy.
There he is, the king. He is here.
I was like, no, it's got to be a week from now, right? This 7th, and then I see you go live, and I'm like, oh crud, yeah. But I'm glad I had the notification bell clicked. So there you go, notification bell for the win.
Good reason to click the notification bell, everyone.
Right. This praise for this shirt is worthy, but there's another great shirt over here as well. So. The jabroni shirt.
That's pretty good.
John is guilty of sloth.
It's one of my.
I don't know about that.
I don't know if I have all 7, but I have many.
So this is where Goonies ruined it for me. I see sloth and only think of Rocky Road.
That's fair.
That's a good question, though. If we each had to say what our sin would be, what would it be? I already know mine's gluttony, obviously. That's, so. And a little bit of pride, I might say. A little bit of pride.
My wife might say lust. No, I mean, sloth definitely is high on my list. I think.
I'd say I have somewhere between pride and envy.
It's hard to pick one, man.
Actually, I might be the same there, Dan.
My D&D class is chaotic neutral, so it's kind of the kind of care, kind of don't care.
That is a good one to play.
Yes, it's always fun. So last night I did a disastrous Halloween Kills reaction video.
Those are some of the best ones.
Yeah.
I was dancing around spoilers because time-wise I had no other day to do it.
Right.
And then the more I talked about it, I was like, did I not like this movie? Like, I don't know now.
I saw that. You were I swear I liked it.
There was a lot to pick apart, but there was a lot good too.
It's just like book club with Alec and I, where we're like, I'm giving this book an 8.0, and let me tell you why it sucks. And then later we're like, we gave it an 8, right? Like that's a good grade. Like we're really crapping on a book for an 8.0.
What did you give it a score, Dan?
I did 7.5. James Jude Courtney, the Michael Myers of it, is I think he's overtaken Nick Castle finally.
Dang.
That was high praise. I saw you say that. But
I saw that a couple times.
I can't go one way or the other against it.
And then James Jude Courtney went and messaged me saying thank you, and I about fell over this morning.
Whoa, that's awesome.
You did not screenshot that and share that with me. I feel a little let down.
I didn't. I was just like, this is not real. This is not real. And I was like, thank God he didn't look at my Twitter one saying I had a lot of fucking problems with this movie, but James Jude Courtney's not one.
That's so funny.
I still, you know what? Dang it. God, it's either that or Zodiac tonight. I got decisions to make. So.
Like I said, Zodiac was one I had to own.
Unruly, man.
Definitely.
You are truly unruly.
Zodiac is... it's funny because when I counted down my favorite horror films with Fire Guy Ryan, I had to put Zodiac on there because for me, it's more horrifying than a poltergeist or an exorcist or whatever. Is this sense of like, this is real. Exorcist is just filmmaker delight.
Based on a true story.
Yeah. But Zodiac is like real. They basically recreated authentic.
And he was a San Francisco Giants fan, apparently, from what we saw in the news the other week. He was going to games constantly.
Yeah.
So there are moments in Zodiac that are, I mean, that car ride with the woman and her baby that's the stuff of nightmares. That's the stuff of nightmares for me. Like you watch that sequence and you're just like, oh my God. And then she's on the side of the road and you're like, did the baby live? Is the baby okay? And she's like, no, I had to hide it. And it's like, oh my, the whole thing is just, it's the stuff of nightmares. And then when he's talking to the guy with the movie posters down in that guy's basement, and you're like, oh my God, why are you doing this?
I don't remember that.
Oh my God, it's so scary.
Some other Fincher movies, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
I hate that movie. That American remake is garbage.
It was a serious case of Benjamin Button.
I love Benjamin Button. I'm obsessed with Benjamin Button.
Panic Room.
Well, I hated that movie.
I didn't hate it. It's like the midline of his stuff. Like I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's just the midline. Like
it just felt like better or less waste. I felt like I wasted my time.
Which Fight Club, every college bro loved that movie. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
I like Fight Club. I'm not a college bro, but I like Fight Club.
He did Gone Girl.
Oh, that's on my list to watch.
I have issues with the story. I don't have issues with the movie. I think the book is just, these are horrible people. Like everybody in the book is foul. Like the cops who are investigating the crime are awful. The man and his wife are horrible. Like the whole movie, there's nobody that you care or root for. Like the whole movie, you're just like, these people just need to die so I can watch a different movie. Like
the Manhunter TV series, which I never watched.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay, I got to go back.
If you guys are interested in Zodiac and Seven and haven't watched the Manhunter show,
so good. 2 thumbs up.
I never got to watch it.
Good.
Which is
I almost want to
rewatch
rewatch
the novel that is like co-written or ghost written by this FBI agent who was the creator of Profiling, and then later was the inspiration for some of the characters in the Silence of the Lambs stories. A really amazing true story guy. And then they basically fictionalized the story of his time in the FBI by not necessarily using real names and giving people like amalgams of characters from real life. So in that way, it is technically fiction, but the crimes that they're investigating are real. It's just the FBI characters that they kind of didn't want to play with real names and real people.
I will give credit to Girl with the Dragon Tattoo because there is the scene where she shoves that dildo up the guy's ass, and that Foley artist was on point. That switching sound. I got up in the theater and did a slow clap for that guy.
Oh my God.
Not since Don't Breathe with the turkey baster has there been a squishing sound.
Oh my God. That's so amazing. That would be the greatest thing you ever say in your life. You've peaked. You've peaked.
Oh, man.
It's like peaked. I'm ready to talk to Jen for an hour.
Oh my God. That's like definitely a Jen and Mars moment. Oh my God. Wow. I did not expect that sentence, and I'm glad I was here for it.
So my boss and I one day were like talking about Don't Breathe because he watched it and he goes, there was a scene in that movie with the turkey baster. I was like, I know. And he goes, there's a sound in there. And I was like, I know, right? And we were talking about that. And he goes, did that guy get up in the theater and start clapping? Go, you're welcome. I did that. That was me. It took a couple of tries, but I got the sound just right.
Yep. And my boyfriend was very grateful.
Like I literally another friend of mine was going to watch it. I was like, listen, there's a scene with a turkey baster in there and some man gravy. And she goes, wait, what the fuck did you just say? I was like, yeah, like homeboy was going to try and impregnate a girl with a turkey baster of his own man gravy. And she's like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah.
She asked for a third take, huh?
And then I was like, and then he gets it shoved up himself and squish. And she goes, wait, what?
Yeah.
And she's like, you finished this movie? I was like, oh yeah, after that, like you can only go higher.
Where are you gonna go from there, right?
Like
I do agree with Chaos. The original Dragon Tattoo film is superior on every single level. Every level.
Rapace, I grew to love from that series.
Yes.
She was fantastic. And honestly, I loved her in Prometheus.
I mean, she's perfectly fine in that. I have a ton of other issues with Prometheus, but like
same.
So going off topic, so Prometheus, it was a movie that I could have watched another hour of, and it could have been an hour shorter. Like I was in that weird thing of like, there's a lot I liked, there is a lot that I hated too.
I kind of agree with that. It's like there's a lot of good, cool stuff, and then by the end of it, you're like, wow, what a waste of time.
My biggest issues had to do with character, and I feel like the characters they wrote acted like the blonde, big-boobed sorority girls in cheesy horror films.
Oh, and not like in what was this? The follow-up to that? Jesus Christ,
the Covenant.
Those fucking morons in that. Let's take our helmets off.
See, here's my problem. Like, you watch the original Alien. If somebody in that movie makes a mistake, you might in your head be able to say, "Yeah, but this guy's these guys are coal mining from planets. These are not rocket scientists. These are rocket scientists in Prometheus. These are like top of their field scientists, and they're acting like spring break like college kids. They're acting like idiots." That's the problem I've got. These guys are absolutely not acting like the jobs they've worked so hard to achieve in their lives. I'm so frustrated with that. It drives me crazy.
I also feel Ridley Scott at some point. It's like, you know what? Fuck the aliens. I'm into this android David. Like, I just want more of him. Like, I'm even going to have David on David, like, action in the sequel.
Well, he could do the reanimator. He's got that head, right? Just take his head around and go do the reanimator move.
Oh God!
But so, like, I mean, I get the idea of Prometheus. I love the look of it. I love the style of it. Everything is so good about it. But those characters are annoying. They're like doing the dumbest stuff, and it just drives me crazy.
I think I might slightly like Prometheus a little bit better than Covenant. But
Covenant was like, we're going to give you aliens. You wanted aliens. You're going to get aliens.
Aliens. Yeah, I don't know. And I was one of those people, I'll be honest. I wanted aliens, but then it was such a letdown.
So back to 7.
Back to 7.
I was gonna say, like, If you were gonna recommend like a movie like Seven to somebody, what's a movie you would pick? I mean, besides going to Zodiac.
So you're saying somebody saw Seven, loved it, and they're like, "Hey, what else do you have that's like this?"
Yeah.
Well, Zodiac, of course.
I mean, I feel like Seven is the action version of Silence of the Lambs. So if they've never seen Silence, I would be like, well, there. I mean, Silence of the Lambs is one of the few serial killer movies that I would put above Seven, as far as like, this is a better version of a similar concept. I think Silence of the Lambs is pretty much a perfect movie. Like, there's no flaw in it. I've watched it so many times. I've yet to find any part of that just doesn't work for me.
There's a 4K Steelbook at Best Buy coming out.
There's a reason. Didn't it win Best Picture? I mean,
director, writer, actor, and actress.
Yeah.
It's one of only 3 movies to win all of those awards.
Manhunter, also the original with William Peterson, is another one that I possibly would put up there.
The Gore's with you in the chat. Same thing. I think, and it's, by the way, way better than the
Red Dragon was terrible
remake. Red Dragon is a crap movie. If you want to see Anthony Hopkins getting a paycheck, watch Red Dragon. I can't believe he got. I mean, if you really watch the original Silence of the Lambs and the patient like character study he does in that, and then you watch Red Dragon, you're gonna think you watched 2 different actors doing 2 different characters. It is like there is zero connectivity between.
Well, Bruce Willis, he got famous for "You're gonna pay me." All right.
Yeah, I mean, that I can't believe that Hopkins. You can watch his performance as Lecter deteriorate across like 3 movies and just be like, "What happened?" You want
like he got bored.
Yeah, he did. They just wrote him crappy scripts, and he's like, "I'm out."
I will say, I did like Hannibal.
Yeah, Hannibal.
I don't know if that was because of the music or I don't know, but I liked it. At least
the Hannibal, the TV series, I liked. I
like the TV series too. Yeah,
I thought you meant the TV series. I'm 100% on board. The movie
Matt Nicholson is great.
The movie suffers because it's based on a horrible book that just is incoherent. That book makes no sense. The ending of the book has her running off with Lecter. Like, they run off together. That's the ending of the book, Hannibal. And it was so bad, they tried to make it into the movie, and then they realized the audience is going to hate this. It doesn't make sense. So they changed it for their movie.
From Hell, that's a good one.
It's just bad.
Not the movie, though.
Well, I still think the movie's enjoyable. It's not as good as the comic, obviously, but I still think it's enjoyable.
Having an old friend for dinner, Clarice.
It's just such a good movie. I've probably watched Silence of the Lambs more than any movie that's won Best Picture, and it's so good on every level. Technically, I'm obsessed with the photography, the way they have characters talking into the camera constantly, the way they're always isolating Clarice in the frame so that she looks all on her own, like everything is against her. Nobody is on her side. She's always isolated. And the way they slowly peel back the layers between her, the things that are barriers between her and Hannibal slowly deteriorate to where there's almost no gap between the two of them. So many great cinematography things they're doing.
Well, it also gives one of the greatest moments of film. Would you fuck me? Hard fuck me. So
see where he takes it?
I actually like to put the lotion in the basket better, but
the winter memes now where they have Buffalo Bill got some lotion inside. You look like you got some dry skin.
I'm gonna go right over him. One of my favorite shots is she's at the very beginning of the movie getting into an elevator at Quantico, and she gets in, and it's like one other lady and like 30 guys, and it's like such a great statement on the proportion of men and women. But when she gets out of the elevator, it's empty. She's the only one in. And the idea being that like she's going to outlast all of these guys. Like, she is top 1%. You're seeing it happen visually on screen, right? I love it. And then all the guys constantly dressing her down, right? Constantly looking her up and down. Like, you feel even as a man watching the movie, you feel what it's like to constantly be viewed, to constantly be broken down to your physical attributes. It's incredibly off-putting.
I have 2 other movies that aren't that big, but I feel add some of the elements. The Bone Collector.
Oh, yeah.
with Angelina Jolie and Denzel Washington.
That's a solid one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I liked, and also the original Kiss the Girls movie.
I thought you were going to say that one. Yeah,
it's not the greatest, but it's in that kind of vein. It's entertaining, but it's not like art film.
No, but solid, absolutely solid.
Yeah.
Where this to me is an art film. Like it is a very well put together.
Well, this Seven, Zodiac, Silence of the Lambs are in one category for sure, separate from most of the rest.
Since you're on this, like, you said is Silence of the Lambs probably like the most watched movie you've had?
As far as Best Picture winners, yes. As far as just like most watched, it's got to be something like Raiders of the Lost Ark or Empire Strikes Back or something like that. I think. Yeah, it's probably going to be something. I mean, or it could be everybody has that phase when you got kids where it's like they will only want to watch Finding Nemo for like a year and a half, and that's like all you've watched, and you watch it like every other night. You're watching Finding. So we watched Finding Nemo a lot when Kate was young.
So that reminds me of the Finding Nemo thing. The other day at work, that's funny you bring that up because they were talking about some reference to Finding Nemo, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're all like, what? You've never seen Finding? I'm like, dude. I don't have kids. Like, y'all have kids. I don't.
I get that excuse, but I will say Pixar is a different breed.
I mean, I have seen a fair amount
films. Pixar films are on like a different. Like one of my favorites is Inside Out. Is that what it is? No, it's
it's Inside Out. It's
Inside Out. The one where it's like basically about the psychology. It's about the emotions inside and the transition from being a kid where you have these basic emotion sets to being a teenager or an adult where emotions are blended, where you can feel happy and sad about the same memory. And it's about that transition and it's a deeply psychological film, but it plays as a fun kid's narrative. And it's I break down watching that movie. It is powerful.
I mean, I loved
huge.
Was it Coco? That was really good.
Great movie. Yeah.
It's fantastic, man.
I don't watch Pixar movies.
But yeah, in general, I mean, I've seen like...
I get it. I mean, there's no need to
like The Incredibles, I think, was like the last of that vein.
That's a great one. That's a great one.
I haven't seen Incredibles either. I have seen was Cars a Pixar movie?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I've seen that.
I would put the Cars films on like a lower level for me personally. But
WALL-E, I watched WALL-E.
Inside Out, WALL-E, Ratatouille. Some of these are really just great movies, period.
I've heard that WALL-E is really good.
And Finding Nemo as a parent, like there's just something really powerful about that as a topic. It's all, at one point, Nemo's dad says, I promised nothing would happen to him. And then, because he's worried about he lost his son. And the resonating point is that his friend says, that's a weird thing to promise. Like, if nothing ever happened to him, like nothing would ever happen to him. Like, what a strange thing. Because as parents, you don't want anything bad to happen to your kids, but you can't like keep life from happening. And very powerful, heady concept that the characters are dealing with. Beautiful stuff. And Up, good one. Chaos, good one.
Oh yeah, I need to watch that one.
I mean, like just for the opening 8 minutes alone, you'll just be done. You'll be like, wow, okay, this proves that these movies are not just kids' movies.
Didn't you talk about that on your channel once, John? I think
probably. Just the beauty of Michael Giacchino as a score maker.
Oh, Giacchino's guy. He's great.
I think it was ever since Star Trek, I believe, I fell in love with him. But
well, I mean, I obviously I'm a Lost fan, and it's one of the only shows to have a full orchestra for every episode.
Did he do Lost?
He did all the music for episodes. And what I loved about it, I've seen screenplays, and they would actually write, and now the Giacchino music kicks in.
Nice.
Like they would write this into their script, like they would want him to, he's going to bring something here. He's going to bring something.
I think he scored Rogue One as well.
Oh, fantastic.
And he's done most of the Pixar films from the last 20 years. He's done almost all of them.
A series I forgot that would fall into this whole Se7en and
True Detective.
Zodiac. Yep, True Detective season 1.
Yeah, that season 1 was amazing, man.
So good.
Another final episode is Tennant on the verge of retirement. What series are they talking about?
I don't know. Andy Tennant. Is this the
Helen Mirren's Prime Suspect series from the 90s.
Oh, okay. It could be. I've seen some of the Prime Suspect series. I haven't seen all of them, so I'm definitely going to be behind on some of them.
If anybody wants the Prime Helen Mirren, go watch Excalibur.
See where you're taking this conversation places. Look at you.
Oh, the fucking great movie. Like I watched that as a kid. A couple of months ago I was watching and I was like, wait a minute. Hold on, IMDb. Holy shit, it is her.
All right, well, on the serial killer front, I got obviously a classic, and then I've got an underrated modern. So the classic is obviously Psycho, right? I mean, Psycho is the originator of this probably genre, and is worthy of its place in history, just as a piece of cinematic gold. So if you've never seen Psycho, people at home, not our chat seems to all know every movie. So, but like,
I think Psycho only kids under 12 haven't seen Psycho.
But you know about the shower scene though. Like
you have to.
It's kind of like the Citizen Kane, where you know what Rosebud is. You might have never watched the movie, but you know what Rosebud is.
Right. Like, but there's so many great moments. When the detective gets it at the top of the stairs, just iconic. When they turn the chair around and see Grandma for the first time, like
you mean Sam Loomis?
Yep. I mean, there's so many iconic moments, and of course, I never heard a fly. like so good. And then underrated, underappreciated is Bill Paxton's movie Frailty. Yeah, with another. You mentioned McConaughey earlier, but
we almost talked about that.
Really great movie, really low budget, like unheard of little movie, directed by Bill Paxton and starring Bill Paxton. Great movie.
Bill
if you haven't seen it.
Kind of the star, but not really.
And McConaughey is gives top billing, but he's hardly in it because he's only at the beginning and the end. The rest of the movie is Paxton and his kids as the main.
Frailty is a hidden gem, and I really think there's not enough people that know that movie.
I know,
out there. I found out about it. I was watching Bravo's Top 100 horror movies one year, and that popped up.
Nice.
And I was like, how do I not know about this? That's and then cool. Near Dark with Bill Paxton in it as a psychotic hillbilly, rockabilly vampire is fantastic. And $100 to buy on Blu-ray right now. It's very out of print.
What? For what?
Near Dark, Catherine Bigelow's second movie.
Yep.
I was like, shoot, I could sell my Frailty copy for $100.
No.
Time to get a Grail.
Yeah.
It is weird. I don't understand the need to buy Blu-rays for that much money.
Sometimes, man, I was going to say earlier, but I held off. But now that you brought it up, last night I went out with some people after work for the first gathering I've had in public in probably 2 years, it seems like. But yeah, I had a few, and I got home and I got on eBay.
Oh God!
And I went to my movie watch list on Blu-rays that are in moratorium, or you can't buy in stores or online anywhere now, and they're only used. And I bought 2 off my list. So, and they're probably more than one. They're not super crazy, but they're definitely more than what retail and what I wanted to pay for them. I was waiting until they'd go down to $10 or something, but one of them it's a guilty pleasure because I had a friend who it was his favorite comedy horror movie back before he passed, and I haven't seen it since he passed. But Joyride with Paul Walker.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah. And what's his face? That funny guy,
Steve Zahn.
Steve Zahn. And I was like, man, I really was feeling nostalgic for it, so I just did that little click and bought it now.
Done and done.
So it's going to ship. And then the other one was Triangle, which I recently saw.
I never saw that.
In the last couple of years. Perry Nemiroff actually recommended that through me through her Patreon, because I asked her for recommendations. And if you donate so much or whatever, she'll respond and give you a list. But she only named that after I talked about what I like and psychological thrillers and blah, blah, blah. I freaking love that movie.
Nice.
But it's out of print and you can't buy anything except for the UK versions, and they don't work on Region 1 players. So But I did find a used copy, albeit it's a little beat up, but it still works, supposedly. So,
Night of the Hunter.
Oh, it's a classic. Yeah.
Was that the hunting the people at the?
That's the one. No, it's the one when he's got like the knuckles, where his tattoos across the knuckles, black and white. Yeah, black and white. Was it early 70s? I can look it up.
Interesting. Anyway, so yeah, once I get Triangle, I'll be putting that on
1955. Sorry,
my pick of the week.
I almost eBay 55 the 1955. I almost eBay purchased the steelbook of the Thing 4K, the Best Buy exclusive, because Best Buy completely dropped the ball and just never had them for sale.
Oh wow!
People bought them, so like $70 to $100. I was like, I don't need it this bad, but damn it, like I want it, but I just can't fathom spending that much on something I already owned. But I think I'm going to buy that Silence of the Lambs 4K now.
When does that come? What's that do? Is it a steelbook? You said?
Yeah, Best Buy had it on their website.
It's
also,
not sold out yet.
Not that I saw. There's also a $20 steelbook 4K of American Psycho.
Yeah, I've seen that one. I thought last time I checked that was sold out though.
It might be. I don't know. Like, I just love American Psycho. Christian Bale is so over the top in it.
It's quite buck wild.
Just,
yeah, that's
quite a pretty awesome
movie. Do you like Huey Lewis in the News?
I mean,
you know, Sport is a great album. You know, people don't like Fit to Be Square, but yes,
hey, I'm not gonna buy an all-region Blu-ray player because I have a 4K player, so I don't. But I mean, it doesn't play all-region Blu-rays, but it's like I got one player and that's it. So
yeah, I went into that thing of like having a bit of a buzz and going on eBay and for some reason looking up Grail comics, which is a fucking mistake.
I never do that. I'm going to create some sort of program that locks me out when I'm buzzed, so I can't do that.
I did the smart thing and I hearted to watch it. So that way, like the next day I woke up and looked at it. I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But I did weirdly, I gave it to Gambit already. I bought him the last issue of X-Men that he needed for his run, X-Men 130.
Nice.
So it was the first appearance of Dazzler.
Yep.
The Raws were going higher than the graded.
Love that
cover. Insane. It's
what?
Insane that the Raws were going higher than the graded.
Because people were seeing that you could, you know, if you got a decent Raw and pressed and cleaned it, you could bump up the grade if you got a good grade out of it, maybe.
Yeah, like it's a little bit higher than I thought it should be for what it is, but I ended up getting for 200 a 7.5.
Ooh, nice.
So, and then eBay the tax and everything now, which is weird, but anyway, like I gave it to him, he was super excited, so I finished his run.
Oh, you guys finally got the tax now, too?
Yeah.
I think I had that for like 2 years. It sucks, doesn't it?
A little bit. It is what it is, though.
Yeah.
It's still convenient.
True.
Ooh.
Oh, Gore, that is on my watch list. But the only version I can get of it is the Korean one. And I'm just kind of iffy about buying that. Even though they've got 100% rating, I still. But yeah, I think that's an underrated film, coming of age film. But
I just pre-ordered. I've got both versions of Scream, the 4K coming. I've got the Steelbook and then the regular edition. I pre-ordered Menace to Society, the Criterion edition.
Nice.
Which is weird that there's a Criterion of that, and I got Citizen Kane ordered the Criterion.
I suppose I should upgrade my Screams to 4K.
Are those?
There's only two I like.
Yet? Oh,
it comes out this week.
Okay.
The 19th.
By the way, Perry did not like Halloween Kills, so
it's gonna. I love it and hate it. That seems to be the two things. There's no in between. I feel like I'm more in between.
So it's kind of like a mixed mess, a little bit.
A little bit. Again, like
yeah, Gore, that's the one I want.
I know what I'm going into watching horror movies.
That's the one the 13-year-old me really wants. So I'm not buying that stupid American censored version that's like 9 less minutes of beautiful Monica Bellucci.
I mean, it's worth it.
It is.
I think Boys in the Hood already has a Criterion. I got the Night of the Living Dead Criterion edition.
Dude, I am not going down the Criterion route. That's like comic grails for people. Like if I go down the Criterion, it's going to be I'm the same person who bought the 4K editions of CB4 and Spaceballs. I don't know why. I just needed to have them in 4K. Spaceballs is a ridiculous fucking movie to have in 4K. There's no reason for me to own it in 4K. There really isn't. No reason.
There is an extra to watch the movie in ludicrous speed, though.
There you go.
Like, it's stupid. I don't even know why I bought it. I just saw it there, and I was like, fuck it, okay. And then CB4, like, I'm waiting for them to have, like, a criterion of don't be a menace to South Central while sipping your juice in the hood. Like, it's that ridiculous.
That's awesome. And John, do you have any Criterion collection films?
Oh yeah. I got quite a few. Seven Samurai, of course. Zodiac. Most of the Wes Anderson films. So I see Royal Tenenbaums and Rushmore over here.
I hated Royal Tenenbaums.
Red River. I'm in the R section.
I hated it. I hated Royal Tenenbaums. I hated that.
You should give it a rewatch. You should give it another shot.
But I love Fantastic Mr. Fox.
I think it's my favorite of his movies, personally. I have rewatched it more than any other.
Rushmore, I really liked. What was the one with Bruce Willis?
Was that the Moon?
The Moon, yeah.
Something Kingdom,
Moonlight Kingdom. Moonrise Kingdom.
Something like that.
I enjoyed that. That was fun.
I can't see other ones. Oh, I've got The Quiet Man, John Wayne movie.
Ooh. That sounds disturbing.
I'd have to move around a little more to see the rest of them.
They'll have criterions of
but yes, I've got
Clint Eastwood, his old spaghetti westerns.
I just gotta say, I think this was like the second or third movie of Clint Eastwood's, or the second or third week we were doing our show that I did a pick for underrated, underwatched, A Perfect World, and that was on it was on Collider.com's underrated Clint Eastwood movie. So number 1 underrated Clint Eastwood movie. So everybody has to watch that. It's so good. I know, John, you've seen it, right?
Oh yeah. In fact, I messaged you when you posted something on it because I'm a Costner fan. I've got Memento. Isn't there? I think I have Silent. I might even have Silence of the Lambs. Is there a 7 one? I might have the 7 one.
Is Grand Budapest, is that worth watching? I have not seen it.
It's solid. I generally prefer Rushmore and Royal Tenenbaums, but I like Costner. I was going to say I'm a big Costner fan, and I just, for whatever reason, he hits all the right buttons. So, and pretty much anything he's in, I will.
Costner is our generation's dad, in my opinion, and Tom Hanks is our uncle to me. Interesting. But that's just my opinion.
Costner, he's got a weird career because there are those years that he just got beat to death in the media. Like,
yeah,
he's had a roller coaster career for sure. And again, there's people that love him. Ooh. I like my in-laws hate him, and I had to like convince them that they were just basically judging him based on 2 or 3 movies that were like such colossal bombs that they were
like Waterworld.
Waterworld, his impressive accent in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, but there were like lots of things that they burned him on it, and he deserves it. But like that doesn't wash a career away. Like you should be allowed a couple of misfires. The guy
had Christian Slater playing Christian Slater in that movie.
I mean, for every one of those, there's a Bull Durham or a No Way Out, which are iconically.
Oh, No Way Out,
phenomenal
underrated
movies.
For sure.
And I just didn't think it was a fair. I mean, you haven't mentioned, of course, 10 Cup's a great movie, and then Field of Dreams is a great movie.
For Love of the Game,
Waterworld is entertaining and rewatchable.
For Love of the Game,
I can't watch Waterworld again.
The Postman, not bad.
Oh Jesus,
I have not seen that one.
It's not terrible.
The only Costner film I haven't seen.
Bad.
It's fucking horrifically long.
I still love.
I'll still watch it.
Dances with Wolves. I hear that theme. I'm gonna lose.
Oh God, John Barry, man.
The music is so good.
Wow.
And then one of his most underrated movies for me is Open Range, which is a phenomenal freaking Western.
Yes.
Duvall, I mean, Duvall,
Hell
Benning, and Costner slay
so good.
This movie, Open Range. The last 15 minutes of Open Range is just a gunfight, and the whole movie builds towards it. There's very little action. It's
what about Wyatt Earp?
Measured, and then the movie unloads. Yes, Silverado, great one. So he put
Wyatt Earp out after Tombstone.
If you put his ratio together, Costner's ratio is a whole lot of home runs. Yeah, there's a couple of, he swung and missed a couple of times, and it was noteworthy. But I do feel like he gets burned a lot.
I like that analogy, John. You can't hit home runs every time you're up at the plate,
But the dude hit a ton.
If you look at Kurt Russell's filmography, like literally, it's terrible.
Yeah. But he doesn't get any of the hate that Costner gets.
No, none of his movies were hits. They literally weren't.
It was always after the fact. His movies.
I don't know.
Except for weirdly, Tombstone? I think he said Tombstone
was a pretty big
Tombstone and Backdraft.
Yeah.
Those are my two favorites.
I don't think he was the main star of Backdraft, though.
Well, there wasn't really a main. I think
they were trying to make
Billy
Baldwin the star of that one.
But
yeah, I guess. But
I think in the commentary for Big Trouble in Little China, where it sounded like him.
But hey, we're back around to serial killers because there's a serial arsonist in that one. Right?
That's true. Scott Glenn. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say Donald Sutherland. Right.
What?
Donald Sutherland in Backdraft is the serial killer. He's talking about my friend. He wants to play with fire, and he's talking about.
Scott Glenn was the one actually.
Scott Glenn was the firefighter who was setting the fires, sure. But there was a whole Hannibal Lecter story.
I forgot about that.
Where you had Donald Sutherland talking about how he basically literally burned De Niro back in the day.
He looked pretty evil when he was given that monologue too, man.
So creepy.
So creepy.
I love that no matter what show I do and what people I have on, we always go off topic and
it's a staple of your show, man.
I'm bringing you back to serial killers.
So
that's my goal.
We're past the hour mark, and I wanted to go into what would you give this on a scale of 1 to 10 or whatever your grading system would be? Because I think I have this as a solid 8.5, maybe 9.
I mean, I love Se7en, so I mean, it's definitely a 9. I think I might even go above that if we're doing CGC grading. Maybe 9.4.
White pages.
I would put it in the top tier. It's one step below a Silence or a Zodiac, but that's very high praise for me.
Silence probably is a 10 for me.
Yeah,
between acting, mood,
and I'd put Zodiac right there.
I think I have Zodiac ahead of 7.
Uh-oh. You're not going to be late, are you?
No.
Okay.
It's just the text. It's kind of weird. Zodiac, I think the acting was better. A detriment to this, I feel, is Brad Pitt's acting. Because he's kind of overacting.
Sure.
I mean, what's in the box? What's in the box, man?
It works for me.
It works.
He's just a raw bleeding wound, and it
yes, works. That is the statement of the show right there.
Raw
bleeding, emotional wound. That's what he is.
I think he had a couple of ones about Foley art that might top mine, but
yeah, that's true. So second best statement of the show right there.
Thank God Jen wasn't watching. She'd be like, Jesus Christ, you're still talking about this.
I'm going to clip that and just send it to her.
That's fair.
Oh, I'll let her know. I'll be like, hey, I just did a whole thing about Foley art. Don't worry about the other parts of it. But that is kind of a lost art in film, though, is getting the sounds right.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, not the squishing sound of something going up someone's butt, but... So in the Halloween movie, the Foley artist has loved it. Every time Michael Myers grabs a knife, it's making that shing sound.
Yep.
And then my date during it goes, do you think those knives are Ginsu? Because they're really carving the shit out of that guy. And I was like, oh God, you're of the age that you saw Ginsu commercials. Thank you.
Yeah, right.
It slices, it dices, it cuts cans.
Right.
And then she smacked me and told me to shut the fuck up and watch the movie.
That's fair.
But she's like, so where's the lake? And I'm like, what? She's like, this is Jason. I was like, oh, it's not fucking Jason. And she's like, I know I'm fucking with you. I was like,
oh, that might have been the joke of the night right there. She played
it.
Yeah, like literally, I did this slowly. I turned. Weirdly, only 15 people in the theater. So I had my choice of anywhere I wanted to sit, which makes me kind of frightened about Dune.
Maybe that's why they're going to a Thursday night. Maybe they're seeing trends kind of go down or something. I don't know.
Well, what Ridley Scott's movie did on Thursday night, holy shit.
Yeah, that makes me want to watch it, actually.
Not good. $315,000 for a Ridley Scott movie, The Last Duel.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the reviews saying it was, like, awesome.
No, like, it made $315,000, and I forget how many theaters on a Thursday night. That's horrible. Like, that's a bad start.
Is it online, too, streaming, or no?
No.
Ooh, 315.
Yeah.
I will say, though, Ridley's kind of been on a downward trend over the last decade, so in my opinion.
I won't forgive him for The Counselor. That was a bad movie. Not as bad as The Snowman. The Snowman was another fucking horrific movie.
Oh, my God. That was...
But I will die on this
hill. I forgot all about that.
Kingdom of Heaven, the uncut version, the longer cut.
The Ridley cut or whatever.
So much better.
The Snyder cut?
It was the Snyder cut before the Snyder cut. Which is funny because Ridley Scott constantly is like, the movie's too fucking long. I wrote it. I should know. And yet, like, because, I mean, when Blade Runner 2049 came out, he immediately ran out saying, I wrote too long of a movie. It's not Denny's fault. It's my fault.
God, I love that movie.
I don't know. I think it was a pretty great movie.
Yeah, I love it.
It was, but the pacing, like, for people who
have bladder problems.
Who have ADHD.
There's a bunch of people who was like, Ryan Gosling's in this? Woo-wee.
Wow. And then you just don't talk to those people anymore.
The same
All right, so my rating of 7, which is why we're here. I'm going to go in between 8.5 and a 9 and an 8.75. Like, I want to say a 9.
You just play Price is Right, motherfucker. You can't do that. You can't.
I want to say a 9, but I don't think I would go higher. But then there's parts of it that make me feel like it's more of an 8.5. So I'm gonna go 8.75 for sure. Final answer.
So better Kevin Spacey role, this or American Beauty?
Oh, I think this. I won't say anything bad about American Beauty, but it's not one of my.
I don't think it's a fair comparison.
Or Kaiser Sose.
Because the role in this is so tiny versus how much he has to do in something like an American Beauty.
Well, Usual Suspects, his role was pretty small too.
Yeah, comparing this to Usual, I would say Usual is the better performance.
I love how there's all those theories that he actually wasn't Kaiser Sose. It was Benicio del Toro.
Hey, he'll flip you. He'll flip you for real.
I actually liked Kevin Spacey in The Negotiator.
It's a great movie. I think what I loved about Negotiator was it was like a who's who of great character actors of the day.
Right?
Like,
yeah.
That cast, every single role is somebody who has been a great character actor. And at the time, Sam Jackson and Kevin Spacey were in that group. They had neither one of them when they were cast were these huge names. But during the time that they were cast and then shot the movie, Pulp Fiction comes out, Usual Suspects comes out, these guys become huge. And then that movie comes out and it was like the casting director hit gold. But the movie is like full of great character actors. It's one of those movies you're like every single person on screen, you're like, I've seen them in 10 other movies and they're just
what's that tall guy with the gray? I think it's
David Morse.
Yeah. He's in that.
And then there's he's a great actor.
Michael Madsen, like for a while in the 90s, was in fucking everything.
He was.
I love his character stuff, man.
He's so all good. In with
Gabriel Byrne also, like I thought he was going to end up being a star and he ended up becoming more of a character actor, a background guy, and he's solid.
You look at him in Usual Suspects, you think this guy's going to be huge. This guy's going to be the biggest star, and it just never panned out. Although for me, it's all about what was the Coen Brothers movie he did? The gangster one. Oh man. Miller's Crossing. That's my personal favorite for him. That's the movie that I think is just a masterpiece. But I
still need to watch that.
That's a movie that the first time you watch it, you're going to go like, what the heck?
And I'm pretty sure you and Fire Guy Ryan have both told me to watch that.
I'm obsessed with it. Like every time I watch it, I learn another fact that I was like, oh, I didn't realize that guy and this guy were. That was a whole connection.
The Coen brothers are always very interesting in the stuff they put out because it's never really the same thing twice. Really, no. I like that they take chances.
They're hot and cold for me.
Totally.
I absolutely despise their endings to their movies. But I get the appeal to some of it. So Gore coming in with a 7.5, that's pretty fair.
Wise Guys. I forgot about Wise Guy. Yeah, that's oof.
Yep. No, I get the hate on Coen brothers too, because I think they are because they're so
I don't
diverse.
Hate them,
but I mean people that don't.
I hate their endings.
I think that they are so diverse. You get films that are. It's easy to love one and be like, I don't even care at all for this one. So like. When I saw this is The Man Who Was Not There, that Billy Bob Thornton movie is atrocious. Like I hate this movie. I'm just like, what did I? The aliens at the end. I mean, what is this movie? But then, of course, The Big Lebowski is a masterpiece. Like there's no question for me.
Oh, they did that.
It's just phenomenal. Yeah, it was right after they did Fargo. They did The Big Lebowski. They were on a tear. And then Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Oh Brother, Where Art Thou was a phenomenal movie. Hilarious.
My parents love that movie.
I've never watched it.
I haven't either. So I heard the music for about 2 minutes, and my parents watching it. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to watch this.
But then my favorite is still Miller's Crossing because it's one of those that's like a really great onion. You just peel a layer, and you're like, there's another great layer right underneath. So many things going on. It's very
John. You know, those are my favorite types. So.
I think it's definitely because you just don't know. Even when you get to the end and you figure it all out, you still feel like I'm not 100% sure who was playing who. I got to rewatch this just to see who was lying to who because everybody's lying all the time.
Underrated horror movie I watched today that I hadn't watched in a long time: Arachnophobia.
I love that. I almost picked that for my pick.
To back.
That's a fun one.
It's so fun. John Goodman is so fun.
John Goodman in it is great. And then it was followed by Eight-Legged Freaks with David Arquette, which it is what it is. Weird seeing young Scarlett Johansson in it.
I don't even think that's top 3 David Arquette horror films.
Did you see that Scream 5 teaser?
I did.
I did not.
I'm worried.
I like the first 2.
I'm worried about Dewey. But I think it's a misdirect.
Always. There's always.
I actually like that wrestling movie he did that made me laugh.
Oh yeah, what was that? I remember seeing it when it came out because I think I was still working at the theater. I had hookups at the theater, so they let me in for the screening. But
I can't remember. It's forever ago that it came out, but it had Scott Conn in it as his buddy. Amusing, not good at all, but just amusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's another movie I kind of want to go back and watch that I haven't watched in a while. Traffic.
That's a good one. That's powerful.
Which one?
The one with
I've only seen a little bit of the miniseries. But the original film, the film was great. Sorry, I say original, but that's wrong because the TV series was original. But that was in the era when I feel like Soderbergh couldn't miss. Like the guy, I mean, Ocean's 11 came out, The Limey came out, the Out of Sight.
Aaron
Brockovich, the guy was just hitting home runs. The guy he was just slaying. And I was obsessed with Soderbergh in that era.
No Country for Old Men, just give me a supercut of Javier Bardem in it and I'm good.
See, I loathe this movie, but only because of the source material, which is what really is the downfall of the movie. So
that was the movie. Gore was reading my mind. That was the movie I was thinking about as far as love-hate, because the first time I saw that movie, I hated it. I was like, why did I waste my time on this? My brother loved it. And I was just like, wow, this is just average at best. I don't know. But then I revisited it with my brother one night and actually enjoyed it a lot more. So I don't know.
There's a ton to it that I really enjoy. I just think it doesn't add up to anything.
Right.
And
the road is the one that I
generally hate all the characters in the movie too. I don't like.
Oh, they're all
characters.
pretty.
They're horrible. Even the cop. I'm just like, I don't care. Why am I watching this?
No movie was as bad as that Kate Winslet, Leonardo DiCaprio movie, Revolutionary
Road. Yeah.
Ooh,
that's a heavy.
Thankfully,
one.
I have not seen that.
Just oof.
I generally will watch Kate Winslet in anything.
Cartheyite. Okay.
I know, Gore. This is where you and I diverge. The McCarthy. I can't handle McCarthy. I need a character that I actually like, and he deprives us of that in every story. He's like, these are all horrible people. You should just get over it.
Maybe that's.
And I just can't handle it. I can't. I need at least somebody that I can be like, I appreciate that this person's perspective is so interesting or unusual or whatever.
I feel like that's Danny Boyle. That's Danny Boyle also in a lot of his movies, where even the person who's supposed to be kind of the good guy is terrible. Like,
I can see that.
Trainspotting.
Trainspotting is a great example. Yeah.
John, you touched on a good point. I think maybe that's where I'm at too. Because I remember at first, like seeing it, I was kind of rooting for Llewellyn, to get away, and so. Yeah. But then by the end, I hated him because he just left his girl and stuff, and obviously she was going to pay for what he did. So it's
Javier Bardem in that movie is the fucking Terminator.
I will say, he's the first time I watched it, like he was the most interesting character out of all of them.
And I don't want to. Sorry,
not. I mean. Yeah, I don't want to say he was like good because he wasn't, obviously, but
he's charismatic and captivating.
Yes, that's and
I don't want to say that I have a problem with movies where characters are despicable or unlikable or flawed, because that is not true. So a movie like Magnolia, which I can enjoy and watch over, is filled with flawed, horrible people.
Right.
But I can see that they're at least trying to redeem themselves. That there's something about them that's worth digging through all the detritus. So like Paul Thomas Anderson's example of a filmmaker who often has horribly flawed characters, but in general, you can see them at least struggling to better themselves.
Right.
Cormac McCarthy has none of that. He's like, nope, we're all just scum and we're all horrible and we're all in this just horrible universe. And hey, maybe you find somebody to share a few moments with, but that's about all you get. It's just too much for me. Like I don't need that level of depression in my life.
Yeah. And everybody knows I like Deathstroke and he's horribly flawed.
But you can see that there's something in him. There's always a line he won't cross.
Right. He's not like a pure, just hired killer type or,
Oh yeah,
he's not the Joker. He's not just going to go out and start slaughtering.
He's Leon the Professional.
There you go. That's what he is.
No women, no children. No women, unless you pay me more.
Well, there's that.
But that's why I like that. Not to get off topic, but Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons, because of what you're saying, John, is, and also how Manu Bennett kind of portrayed him in CW is, he was trying to get a redemption a little bit, and I think we all kind of want to see that a little bit. Everybody has their flaws, but. Yeah,
I think it's a great comparison here. I mean,
I think you must have hit that perfectly. I could never put into words what you just said, but that's probably why I'm not a big fan of that movie.
But Newman is an actor famous for playing unlikable characters, right? The character in The Hustler is a great example. Cool Hand Luke's a great example. But what I think it was innately something about Paul Newman as a performer made you feel like he would turn it around, even when he didn't.
Yeah,
he had this element of there's something
charisma.
Good inside of me, but you can just barely see it around the edges or whatever, and it gave you hope, even which made The Fall even worse. Something like The Hustler, where you're basically watching him spiral. That's the power of The Hustler,
and that's why in Road to Perdition, Paul Newman's role is perfect for him. Because you see early on, you kind of love him a little bit and how he takes care of the family and whatnot. But then you also see the other side.
Movie.
Because his blind spot is so, you don't see how big his blind spot for his son is. Right. And then the movie slowly reveals it.
Daniel Craig, by the way, which played one of the creepiest characters.
Oh, he's horrible. He's so horrible in that. But I think that's what makes those stories watchable. And I don't think I've been able to connect with the characters in Cormac McCarthy as well as I could with Paul Newman's unlikable, likable hero villain characters. I mean, my favorite Paul Newman though is always going to be Nobody's Fool, which I think is a really underrated Paul Newman movie and funny as heck, and just so perfect. Jessica Tandy, Bruce Willis, who we mentioned earlier, and you get to see Melanie Griffith topless. So I mean, it's just a win on a lot of levels.
I have no idea what movie we're going to do next week. I got to put some thought into that if we want to do a classic or a modern.
Sticking with horror.
It is horror month, so
yep.
We said we were going to do a horror movie a week.
Spooky season.
Yes. And then Saturday night, it's going to be the Dune discussion for the movie. Scott in our group already saw it. He got to go to an early screening, and he has been very quiet about it. So
good on him.
Ferengi Vigilante's also been very good about it. He just said it was everything he wanted in the movie, and it made him happy.
Ooh.
So
The Verdict, yeah, it's another one, Gore, as far as Paul Newman and an unlikable character who you're still kind of rooting for because you think there's something in him worth the time.
My dad, I think the first Paul Newman movie I saw was, I believe it was with Robert Redford, The Sting.
Oh, good.
So when I was a kid, that was great, man. I enjoyed it.
My girls love that movie. We watched it together.
Butch Cassidy and Sundance. Yeah.
Oh, that was the second one. Yeah, that one was great.
Those are a pair. You kind of have to watch both of those.
Yep.
A movie I rewatched recently that I found I quote too much. A Few Good Men. That Jack Nicholson.
So
you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Oh.
Yep.
That is hilarious because just last week we were quoting that at work all week. So I can definitely relate.
I mean, Aaron Sorkin is eminently quotable. I mean, the guy is just top notch writer.
That's who did The Newsroom.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, coming back full circle.
Yeah, I mean, I remember reading the play of A Few Good Men, and because I had a buddy that was like trying to put it on, and he was looking to like, hey, help me put this play on, and I read it, and I was like, this is really great. And then the movie came out like the next year or something like that, and Tom Hulce played the Tom Cruise part on the stage originally. And the movie did such a great job of opening up the play and making it more than just like a courtroom or what have you. But really, really a great, intense story and well acted. But only one woman in the whole thing. So that was like one of the drawbacks of my high school wanted to put it on. But there's only one girl in the whole thing. And the theater department's like 90% women anyways. I don't know how you do that production.
So on the subject of complicated people in a movie or a series and everybody's flawed or not good, The Wire. It's such a complication. Every character has their positives, their negatives, and you start trying to decide, are they good or bad? Like Omar, the recently deceased Michael K. Williams.
Yeah.
He's kind of good. He's kind of Robin Hood of the neighborhood, but for his own gain.
Yep.
So many interesting characters, and Idris Elba playing Stringer Bell, who is just a fascinating character. I mean, geez, like it's a fantastic series. I hated season 2, but season 1
I couldn't finish season 2, so I might just have to start at season 3.
Season 1's the best. Season 2 is interesting because they introduce all these new kids and stuff, and these new characters, and that kind of
that annoying guy at the docks. I just can't stand him. Oh my god.
Oh yeah,
he's just the worst.
The young guy.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. I don't want to remember his name, but
Ziggy or Iggy.
Ziggy.
He's horrible.
My stomach hurts when you say that name.
This might be my favorite quote from the chat. This is phenomenal. This is a great comparison. A less jaded David Mamet. I mean, I don't disagree with that at all.
Didn't David Mamet do that movie that was Julia, it was Natalie Portman, Clive Owen.
Oh,
with Jude Law.
Yeah,
and
Natalie Portman's a stripper.
Yes.
Is she a hooker in it?
I think she was a stripper. Closer. Yes. That movie was so fucking pretentious.
Wife, John?
That was my wife. Yeah.
Closer was so pretentious. I fucking hated that movie. But Clive Owen is such an asshole in it.
I love Clive Owen I can't believe he never became a big star.
Man, I was so surprised too because I thought he would. Man, one of my little known favorite movies of his is The International. Love that.
Ooh, yeah, isn't Nicole Kidman?
No, it's that chick from The Ring.
Naomi Watts.
Naomi Watts, yes.
I like the King Arthur movie with him in it. I'm not gonna lie, it was entertaining.
The what?
He did a King Arthur movie.
King Arthur with Keira Knightley as one of the Celtics. There was also the other movie he did that I enjoyed. It was.
Did you ever see Croupier? That's one of my favorites from Clive Owen. So it's a really tiny, small British film he made way before anybody knew about him. How do you
spell that? Because I'm going to put that on
Croupier. Croupier is the guy who's in the casino. He's like spinning the wheel or dealing the. So it's all about a writer who couldn't really make it, and he's struggling to make end meets. But
they've made movies about that?
He can also deal cards, so he starts working in the casino, but he's also writing a story about a guy working in a casino. So you can't tell when the story is happening or when the writer is really talking. So it blends like fiction and reality, and you can't sure what's going on. He starts to, is he conning the casino to try to like make ends meet? Is he conning his girlfriend to sleep with this hotter girl that he's started to meet with on the side? Is he going to help this new girlfriend rob the casino? It's like there's a whole lot of stuff going on in there. And he's the lead and he's narrating.
Children of Men, underrated.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Children of Men is probably his best movie, in my opinion.
And then Shoot 'em Up.
I really love.
Shoot 'em Up is the most entertaining, ridiculous movie.
Shoot 'em Up. That is a guilty pleasure movie of mine for a lot of obvious reasons.
The fact that
but if you haven't seen the Croupier ad, most people haven't. It's definitely a fun one to watch.
Is it a foreign film basically then?
It was a small British film, so it was the kind of thing that would run on the BBC or whatever. And he had a TV show on the BBC called Second Sight, where he played a detective who had lost his vision and was like slowly getting his eyesight back, but he was lying about it so he could continue to work.
There was a period where I was watching a whole bunch of BBC shows. I was obsessed a little bit.
So Clive Owen and Gerard Butler basically happened at the same time, and I think their careers kind of canceled each other out.
Maybe. But I think Clive Owen could have been as big as Idris Elba if he'd played his cards right. I think he really could have been.
I think he started just chasing the money.
Maybe. But
Shoot 'em Up, Clive Owen is basically Bugs Bunny, and Paul Giamatti is Elmer Fudd in it. It's on Tubi, which is a free movie app. It's perfectly legal. But it is streaming on there right now. I recommend watching it. It's wildly entertaining. It's stupid as fuck. It
is. It's totally.
He does, during a gunfight, Monica Bellucci is in labor, and he delivers the baby in the middle of a gunfight and then shoots the umbilical cord off.
Yep.
This is a thing that happens.
I like the thing. Doesn't he either slide the baby or throw the baby at one point and then slides under something and then catches the baby in the middle of a gunfight?
Yes.
that was awesome.
And he was Dwight in Sin City as well, which Sin City has some good parts. It has some bad parts. Fucking Luther the series is incredible.
Yeah, that was Elba, right?
Yes. Yeah, that was Idris Elba's BBC show.
Yes,
I think that's still on Netflix.
The Spring Heel Jack season was very good.
Monica Bellucci is a hooker and Shoot 'em Up.
Oh yes, Second Sight, Kingdom of the Blind. That was season 2. Parasomnia. There's a lot of Second Sight, TV movies and everything else. Croupier, yes, found it.
Croupier. What's it on? I'm watching it tonight.
Watch free on IMDb TV.
So isn't that connected to your Hulu or your HBO? What is that?
I think it's just using the app on IMDb.
Yeah, I think Samsung has it on their TV.
It's a really, I can't believe it's got to be streaming somewhere because nobody's making money off of that thing.
Oh, Netflix.
It's so off the list.
It's on Netflix.
Oh, it's on Netflix?
Yeah.
All right.
Boom. There you go.
I will say Tubi does have a few decent films on there, even though it's a free movie app. So I don't use it, but I've seen that they do have some decent stuff on there. So
nice.
I have 26 minutes to get ready for the next show. So
there you go.
I think this is a good ending time. Are there any recommendations for people of horror movies that they might want to check out before we go?
I got one if y'all don't.
I've got one.
I mean, my stuff is usually pretty mainstream. I don't get too far off the map. In the Mouth of Madness is an underrated John Carpenter movie.
Madness.
If you haven't seen that one, I think it's a good Sam Neill,
John
Carpenter movie.
Oh, yeah. Sam Neill, John Carpenter.
So Sam Neill plays an insurance investigator who is investigating an author who is of Stephen King sort, who has disappeared without delivering his latest manuscript. The manuscript is supposed to drive the reader literally insane. And so he goes on a journey to find it, only to discover that all the writer's novels take place in this town in New England somewhere. And the town exists and all the characters exist and it's all real and it's all happening. And if you read the latest book, this demon-like writer is writing, it's going to drive the world insane. So it's definitely a fun horror film. Yes, his role in that first Bourne film is great.
Yep.
Gore. Good pick.
I seriously thought he would be the next Bond after that.
Yeah.
You'll
watch Croupier, you see him in a bow tie and tuxedo, and you'll be thinking,
man.
they blew it.
They keep saying Cavill's going to be the next Bond, and I
don't think he wants to do it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I liked him more in Mission Impossible. I thought
aren't they saying it's supposed to be that woman? Like, isn't it supposed to be a woman?
Yeah, it's supposed to be the woman.
Yeah.
But we'll see how long that lasts. Because
I was gonna say, we'll see about that.
For me, I'm going to recommend this again since we did a psychological thriller today, and this has emotion. It's a movie called The Invitation.
Oh, so good.
It's Logan Marshall Green, who we saw in Prometheus, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
He's progressed as an actor. Some people call him Bobo Tom Hardy. Like if you can't get Tom Hardy, you get him.
No, that's a great, creepy, slow burn.
It has to do
not
with
a cheap slasher movie, but
it has to do with a cult. There
thriller,
is this emotional tension going on where people start wondering if he's going crazy. Because
I thought Midsummer was kind of boring, and I thought Invitation creeped the heck out of me. So maybe
the ending is what I think sells
so
it. Karen Kusama directed it.
So good. And I didn't expect, maybe it's just because I had higher expectations for Midsummer and no expectations for Invitation. And so as a result, I was blown away by it.
Definitely there was The Invitation, just the way it keeps going. And the guy who they pinned as the Zodiac killer in Zodiac is in this movie as one of the members of the cult. It's just a great performance, great tension, and I love a great thriller where you're starting to second guess whether the narrator is you can trust him or not. And at times you don't know if you can, because this is a guy who is going to see his ex-wife for the first time since their child died that ruined their marriage, and now she has her new boyfriend, and they invite him out of the blue to this fucking dinner party
with his new girlfriend.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. Very good. Very creepy.
Yes, worth checking out for sure. It was on Netflix for a while, but I'm not sure anymore. Carlito, on to you.
Mine is The Neon Demon by Nicholas Winding Refn. This is underrated, underseen, and I got to thank the late, great John Schnepp for getting me into this. God, the cinematography, the colors, the music. I wouldn't say it's full of emotion because it's in the fashion world, so it's a little bit devoid of that. But man, it just blends horror and just modern kind of artsy stuff just freaking beautifully, and I really enjoyed it.
Follow up to Drive.
Yeah, I love Drive too, but yeah, Neon Demon, definitely for my horror friends, I recommend this for sure.
The Invitation is available on Tubi to stream for free right now. And let me see if Neon Demon is available to... it is on Prime Video right now, Neon Demon. Yeah. So with that, we will say adieu. Thank you, John, for coming on with us. I appreciate you coming on and joining us midway through. You always bring some great stuff. And chat, thank you, everybody who came in. Appreciate you all checking out this weird show that just goes off subject constantly, but we're still on film, which we all love film, and I think that's the important part. And there's always like you can talk about a movie and remember another movie, and unfortunately we do stream of consciousness. It's just kind of our thing.
John brings some technicality to my hyperbole, so I love it.
If you need Foley art commentary, I'm your guy.
There you go.
I know where I'm going now. Next time I see a movie where I'm thinking about the Foley, I'm going to send a message to Dan.
What am I doing? There we go.
All right, everybody. Thank you and good night.